All right, it is time once again to spin the wheel of problematic to find out what's problematic this week.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! All right, let's give this thing a big old fat spin and see what's going on. All right, and turns out this week, free speech is problematic.
Prophecy foretells of a podcast so stunning, so brave, that it could only ever go by one name. A show so woke that it became its own gender. A show so hot that we'll understand if it turns you gay. You're listening to Stunning and Brave with Chris Cowan and Nate Henderson.
All right, welcome once again to another edition of Stunning and Brave. My name is Chris Cowan, and here with me in the flesh.
As opposed to ethereal.
Yes.
Or spiritually.
Yes, incarnate.
Wow.
Nate Henderson.
Nate Henderson. That seems blasphemous right after Easter, but go ahead. That's
Good to have you. Good to have you in the studio. What I love about this setup right here is it looks like we are in two completely different locations.
right.
And like I've got a fairly plain, boring background. Just like you can barely see like the edge if you're watching the YouTube. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you have no freaking clue what I'm talking about here. But for those who are watching the YouTube, I've got like kind of barely the bottom of a shelf above my head. Whereas Nate, you've got a freaking bookshelf on one side.
I've got a guitar.
Some kind of trophy, a guitar.
I seem very cultured, but by contrast.
You seem
Yeah.
very cultured. Even
Nobody
though
nobody would ever realize we were in the same room.
yeah, and it's
Cowan.
my
has-
room. I'm the cultured one.
Cowan has so many little knickknacks in his office.
I do. It's true.
I'm hoping he can focus on his work, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
One of these weeks, I
And,
should just like hide something on the shelf behind you. It'll be like a sex toy or something, like just like see
Just
if you
make
notice.
me look like a freak. That would be, yeah, I think everybody would appreciate that. It'd be an incentive for people to watch. It'd be like a Where's Waldo.
Yes.
It'd be like a Where's Nate's perverted sex toy now, and what is it? And
What shape will it be this
we might get a larger viewing audience that way.
Would
I don't,
be
Hey, I'll.
electric, analog.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, you know what? I will take one for the team. I will fall on the sex toy if that's what it.
Wow,
If that's what
okay.
it takes.
don't fall backwards.
Did I phrase that wrong? Okay. All righty. Whew.
Wow.
Starting off blue.
Wow, we took it
That's
there.
how we roll. We're not
Right
even
after-
a couple minutes in.
Right after Easter,
Yeah. Well, hey,
no less.
Yeah.
Yeah. A friend just put, well, not my friend, but like my wife's friend posted their, because everybody's posting their Easter photos.
Oh yeah.
like
It's
you
kind of
do.
an obligation, I guess.
So many family portraits. It's disgusting.
I hate family.
I love how it's all like, oh, Easter, Jesus is risen. Now let's make it all about us
Yeah.
with our
Yeah.
perfect looking family portraits.
Here's the quick snap I posted from the Bible app. Okay, now back to our 40-pick picnic
Yes.
that we enjoyed on this Easter afternoon.
Yeah. That
Hiding eggs, a pagan ritual.
It makes no sense.
I
The
know.
whole egg hiding.
I
thing. I
know.
don't get it, but it's fun. Who cares? But somebody posted. They posted their Resurrection Day photos.
Their Resurrection
Yeah,
Day
which,
photos. Oh, yeah.
you
Were they
might call-
calling it? Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was like thinking baptism. I was like, please
no.
don't tell me these
Many-
people consider themselves resurrected.
No.
I
Many
was
people-
dead last week.
Yeah. No. Many people post like
Yes.
their, they'll
Yeah,
call
yeah.
it Resurrection Day instead of Easter. 'cause
Right,
It's
right.
about Jesus.
That's
being
right.
Resurrected.
Yeah.
But this individual
Oh, dear.
spelled resurrection wrong.
Oh. Huh. That's unfortunate.
They got the res part correct.
Oh, no.
But then
Please
the
don't
rest of
Please don't tell me they put a. Oh, dear.
the rest of it would have on its own passed the spell check. But
Does it give a new meaning to the term "he is risen"?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
All right.
Yes, that joke
Okay.
could be made if we wanted to be that.
If we wanted to go
Horrible.
terrible,
Mm.
but no, I don't.
Thankfully, we would never.
I don't embrace that
never
at all.
Go there.
Yeah. Thank you for explaining it so that we could avoid going into that level of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Whew,
person.
close
and
call.
Here's the worst part, though.
Close call.
First of all, there's multiple reasons why this person should not have spelled it that way. I mean, the first one being, if you're a Christian, you should probably know how to spell resurrection.
Let's hope so.
I'm just
Let's hope.
It's like one of the basic principles of your faith. You should know how to properly spell resurrection in a way
because of
that's
horrible
not going to
mistakes like that.
be as embarrassing as hiding a sex toy in the background of Nate's webcam.
Right.
And then the other thing is, this person happens to be a member of the homeschool community.
Oh, okay. So we're perpetuating that stereotype.
So there's
a bit
that.
More.
There's that
right.
whole thing where
All
it's
right.
just like, maybe. See, this is why homeschoolers can't have nice things.
This is why we can't fit in with society.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we're making horrible insinuations about the resurrection.
It would be a strong argument against homeschooling if I hadn't known enough public schoolers to see, they don't do that much better. Yeah.
Well,
I would say, for those who don't know, I was raised homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
My kids do a hybrid of homeschool and attending classes.
Right.
But I've never been of the opinion of which some homeschoolers, they are like, we homeschool because there weren't enough cults already, and so we wanted to make sure
we wanted to start our own.
Homeschooling,
gets
we're part of that cult.
Gets the recognition and scrutiny that it does.
And I've never been of the opinion that you should homeschooling is the best for everybody. And it's specifically because of situations like this where I'm like, homeschooling.
Well, I mean, look, to be fair, I guess it all kind of depends on how many spelling bees the parents put on for the kids.
That's true.
Because there is nothing more terrifying than getting up in front of a microphone and being asked to spell resurrection. And if that's never happened, then I would say you're doing homeschooling wrong. You need to recreate the boos like in the audience. You need to get some Asian kids from the neighborhood. No, I'm just sorry.
Yes.
Because they are going to storm your kids, let me tell you.
Oh my God.
Then they'll know. Then they'll take spelling seriously.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Anyways, so there you go. I've all due respect to homeschoolers. I have a place in my heart for homeschooling.
Yeah.
But
you look like you're getting choked up almost. Like you're just like, if people could just understand.
It's not for everyone, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all
well,
I'm
then it
say.
leads to stuff like that. So
yeah.
I think that in itself is a perfectly legitimate argument
Yeah.
about how some homeschooling works.
Which is
Others
funny because
not so much.
If they weren't a homeschooler, nobody would bat an eye. They'd just be like, "Oh, well, yeah, of course."
Yeah.
That's our public school system.
Right.
But if you are a homeschooler,
fail the kids
you
again.
have to be able to spell correctly because otherwise you are besmirching all of homeschoolers and Christendom.
Yep.
So just
You hear that, homeschooled
just
kids?
don't do it.
Crack open that dictionary. Get familiar.
I remember opening a dictionary. That was a thing at one point.
That was.
For
For
phones.
typing in an easy web search.
Yes. All right. Well, let's. We always like to kick off the show with our first segment, and so let's do it.
Check your privilege.
All right. This is the part of the show where, as to heterosexual cisgender white males, we're obviously just oozing with privilege, and so we need to start off the show right off the bat, just apologizing for that privilege. and just allowing it to just confessing to it.
Yeah.
And
kind of marinating in the guilt while
marinating in the guilt.
confessing. Yeah.
We need to feel bad about anything that, in the past you might be like, oh, make sure you are thankful for every good thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now, being the woke individuals we are, we understand, no, gratitude is not the answer.
That's
Guilt.
exactly right.
Guilt is the answer. Identify what privileges you have and feel bad for them.
Yep.
Let's see. You got something you want to kick us off here with your privilege check?
Yeah, sure, why not? I as a lot of families tend to do with kids on Easter, especially Christian families. Yeah, of course they are reinforcing what the true meaning of Easter is about in the terms of Christ's death on the cross and resurrection. But we just can't help ourselves with the egg hunts. We just can't. And even the churches too. Like they're just full on. They're like, come, have your kids come for the pagan activity, but listen to the Christian message at the same time. But we kind of did our own thing yesterday for Easter, which was lovely. We went to church. We grabbed some lunch afterwards. At a breakfast diner place, which is always my favorite.
Nice.
And then there was no obligations yesterday. It was incredible.
Wow.
If we wanted to go home and take a nap, if we wanted to, just play some video games or, whatever, I threw the tri-tip on the smoker, a nice leisurely dinner.
Nice.
And it was no getting dressed up. There was no, fussing and pretending to like family. No, no, I love my family.
Wait, so you didn't do like a family thing?
Not like a big extended family sort of thing,
Wow.
So when my kids heard about this, they were like, "Oh, but the Easter egg hunt. What about the Easter?
Gotta do
And
that,
part of me was like, Noah, you're 12. They're like Easter egg hunts are not. You got to understand, dude. They're not becoming a thing. And I was like, why is he so bummed about missing out? I like the, they get treats. They get stuff. I mean, it's like, I understand it's part of not wanting to, kind of lose that part of childhood or whatever. But it's also, when you're up against your 4-year-old cousin, it's kind of like, dude, come on, you gotta let them have their day. You've had this for many years, but I didn't quite understand why, why he was so bummed, like the way he acted. And then it turns out my mom had a makeup egg hunt today. This morning with all the cousins because they all couldn't meet yesterday for Easter. Okay. Apparently. So God forbid we miss one holiday altogether. But no, love you, Mom. But anyway, so they go over there, they meet up with the cousins, they have their egg hunt, and then my wife, I was working today because Daddy doesn't get a freaking day off for spring break. Anywho, so my wife is sending me pictures of their haul, basically, as far as that goes. And yes, they had some candy. They were surrounded by open eggs. Those pictures of you're on the carpet, you have open eggs in the basket and everything. No, what drew my eye to the photo was the pile of dollar bills that were right next to my son, and I think my daughter had a decent amount of stuff too, quarters, but the full on fact is that they made out like bandits. Wow. I mean, they it brought me back to like, okay, like I guess when I was a kid, I think there was like maybe pennies, like in nickels, maybe a quarter. Like we freaked out if there was a quarter or something.
Inflation.
Dude, I was gonna say, man, it's like inflation's even affecting Easter egg hunts, man. Dang. It's messed up. So they come home, and of course, I'm the designated banker for the family.
Of course.
And so they plunk their Ziploc bags full of money down on the counter, and they're like, "Well, you can count it, Dad. You can add it to our add it to our account. And so I don't, but it's like so first off, I realized right away, okay, that's why he was so bummed. He doesn't care as much about hanging out with the cousins. He doesn't care about some missing candy here and there. They get candy a lot. He does not want to miss out on an Easter payday. Dang. And so I at that point I was like, all right, I understand. As long as we keep throwing all these dollar bills and the flipping eggs, he's going to want to do it until, heck, I would do it. If I knew I could make that type of spending money, I'd be like, give me a basket. I'm going to push my little nephews and nieces out of the way and grab me some cash. And so the hilarious thing too was my wife was telling me that, you know, our family takes pride in trying to instill good values in our children and sharing. So if the older kids are going on an egg hunt and they've just loaded up on the basket, you know, we still try to tell them, hey, go easy, you know, leave some for your younger cousins. Yeah,
leave the ones that are just kind of like there on the ground.
Exactly. Yeah. If they have a surplus, they're usually really good about they'll grab some eggs out of their basket and they will put it in their littler cousins' baskets, which is like, hey, that's awesome. Yeah. You know, like they're all learning to share, they're all learning to get along. Megan told me that they were doing that to some degree during this egg hunt, but both my son and my daughter, before they put eggs in the basket, they would shake the eggs. Oh, yeah. And listen, because if they heard quarters jingling around, or if they knew that egg was light as a feather and felt like it had nothing in it, that meant cash. Yes. And so they would listen for the jingle and they would feel the weight and they would leave those eggs in their basket and put what they pretty much figured was candy in their cousins' baskets. So I thought that was even a little bit more kind of defeats the purpose of the whole sharing exercise, but
that's funny. Yeah, you know, I think that's like a new thing now, or maybe it's not a new thing, but it's like it is.
Your grandma more of a spoils the living daylights out of them.
We kind of ran into the same thing because most of like the cousins, that whole generation in our family are now like they're getting into like their preteens and teens and that kind of thing, and so the Easter egg hunt isn't as doesn't hold as much of the luster.
Much rather be on their phones or something. You know?
And so what they did this year. Which I missed, and I'll tell you why in a second. But what they did this year was they had all the teenagers and like even into their 20s, and even like my brother-in-law who's like almost 30 participated, and they just had like a big kid hunt.
Okay, all right.
And included like dollar bills and quarters and all that
full
stuff.
On cash
and candy and kind of all mixed in. Which to me, I'm just like, you know what I had growing up? This is gonna blow your mind.
Okay, all right.
My earliest Easters, we just hunted eggs, like actual eggs. Hard-boiled eggs.
Because that's kind of what
we dyed ourselves.
That's kind of what the tradition was
where it comes from.
Years and years and years ago.
I don't think they had like actual plastic candy-filled eggs back in 600 AD when the Vikings started this pagan tradition. Maybe they did.
Sven is going out looking for candy.
Oh yes, I will get the jelly beans. Yeah.
This Twix is good.
Oh, the peeps. Yeah. They're very good.
The peeps.
That's a great Viking accent.
Isn't it? Oh, so man. Hardcore. Yeah. That's spot on.
No, I was, that's what I grew up with. Like, we would, and it was fun.
Hey, kudos to your parents.
We would first hunt for our Easter basket, which was actually loaded with the goodies.
You would first be gathering the eggs over the past week, so that you even had something to hunt.
Right.
You went out to the coops.
Hard-boiled, maybe they wouldn't.
Went out to the coops every morning at 4:30. Yep.
But that's what we did. We eventually did switch to the plastic candy eggs later on.
Yeah.
But we started off with the real eggs, and I loved that. It was weird to me when we switched to candy eggs.
You're
I'm
like, what is this?
This feels like heresy. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it feels like heresy.
I don't know if I can support this, Mom and Dad. I think we really should. We should pray. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
well, and me being, I love hard-boiled eggs, and everybody else in my family does not eat eggs.
Right.
3 other people do not eat eggs. So when they're making hard-boiled eggs to color and all that stuff, I'm like, sweet. I'm gonna have myself some breakfast for the next week or so.
Yeah.
It's
and like deviled eggs. I mean,
deviled eggs.
There's a reason they have that name, because they are
from the devil.
Way too good.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, I was taking a nap. I completely missed the hunt because I was actually.
Dude, I'm sorry. Is it wrong to say that's a fantastic trade-off?
I'm not.
You shouldn't be feeling.
I do not have any regrets.
Okay, I was gonna say you shouldn't have regrets or shame on that one. I hope anybody would understand.
It wasn't the most restful nap. I was with my son Hunter, and he's been on a Swedish Chef kick on YouTube, just watching endless Swedish chefs. So
10-hour loop.
So my nap was kind of taken over with,
with these fever dreams of a Muppet chasing you.
Yeah, which he sounds more Norwegian than Swedish, honestly, but. I don't know.
Honkin' Zeezies.
Yeah. Speaking of terrible Viking accents.
Oh my gosh. So what was up with you?
All right. So my privilege check at that same Easter gathering. So we've talked a little bit. I enjoy singing. I enjoy the karaoke and all that. And I'm just. That's who I am. I realize it's dorky.
It's what I love.
But I'm comfortable in my own skin, or at least I was until I overate this weekend, and now my skin is feeling a little.
Don't
stretched.
Look. Don't even start. Don't even start. Get another co-host on this podcast, and then you can talk as much as you want. Until then, continue.
Anyway, so I recorded myself singing, and I posted on YouTube. It was "How Great Thou Art." And it's one of my favorite hymns.
It's a great hymn.
And it's, it's not like specifically Eastery, but it's.
Well, I mean, anything worshiping God, I think is, in the same vein.
So I posted that. I put it on the Facebook and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And my mother-in-law really enjoyed it.
Okay.
To the point where she decided it would be fun.
Oh dear.
To pull up the video on her iPhone and make everybody sing along.
Oh.
So it's a video of me singing, and I'm like, I'm singing and I'm harmonizing with it, and she's like, okay, everybody gather around and we're all gonna sing along with Chris.
Oh.
And I'm like,
oh, that's next level. That's next level uncomfortable right there.
It was so uncomfortable.
Wow.
It was so uncomfortable.
Can I ask you, was there a guitar at this function? Like,
no.
Nobody had access to a guitar?
No.
Because I could kind of see her like coming up and just saying, you know what, Chris, I loved your rendition of that. Yeah. Do you think maybe you could play for everybody and lead us in the same song or something? But that's just such a funny, unique way of just like we're gonna play Chris in this video. He's in the same room.
Yeah, I'm literally there.
You can sing along with your own voice, Kellen.
I'll lead us all in. I'll do that.
Leading a cappella, I imagine, would be less awkward than 100%. Singing along to the video.
Singing along to this video of myself.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
It was so uncomfortable.
I just want to see. I wish that could have been recorded, just to kind of see your eyes, just kind of like
I was just
widen and. Okay.
What have I done? So I need to be like way more careful now. Anytime I post a video on Facebook.
You know who you need to exclude from seeing that post.
I need to like edit make it not public.
Maybe do it after the gathering. When you're not going to be.
Don't do it close to any holidays.
Yeah. Hey,
Jeez.
maybe she was feeling caught up in the spirit,
Oh my gosh.
and she just really wanted an encore. So
I
how
guess.
flattering.
Yeah. Oof.
How flattering.
That was rough. Anyway.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box. Whether you enjoy geeky reviews, comedy, or original fiction, you can open up the Culture Box and find something excellent for your soul. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
Let's talk about Geek Devotions. It's a collaboration of devoted geeks that are devoted to letting people know that they are loved. They produce a weekly geek culture-infused devotional, their podcast, Com Talk, and written articles, all designed to encourage and challenge people in the geek community, bridging the gap between their faith and their geekdoms. Find all their content at geekdevotions.com.
The Social Net Jerk.
All right, this is the part of the show where we peruse the internet for people making fools of themselves.
Act
just
the
being ridiculous.
fool.
And there's always plenty. There's always plenty of that. Somehow it just happens. So let's
Not hard.
let's kick off this first one here. This was a listener submitted one. Chris Negron found this one, and it's a beauty. Speaking of, since we're doing a very spiritual, very religious episode this week.
I guess it just kind of came together that way.
All right, so here it is. It's a meme. It's a picture of the Bible, and it has the caption, "Hey Satan, we read the back of the book, and guess what? You lose."
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's cool. I mean,
It's a pretty familiar meme, I think.
yeah.
Oh.
But then the person posting this meme
Oh, dear.
adds a caption
You gotta love it when they add.
that should also say, "Hey, the deep state and the swamp."
Oh.
Oh yeah, because that was a big part of the New Testament, was calling out the deep state
And the swamp.
the DC swamp.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I'm pretty sure there's a section in Revelation. There's a chapter that talks just about that.
Yeah, I think it was in Second Republicans or something. Yeah. Just,
Oh, boy. It's like, they would have had something familiar, and they got to go and add stuff. They think they can make those memes even better. And this is what you end up with. # drain the swamp.
Yep.
Whoo.
I just spilled a little bit of Jelly Belly sparkling water.
Oh, are we going back to privilege check?
No, I'm just telling
Oh,
you.
okay.
I'm
I
just
wasn't
telling you
sure
what happened.
if we were jumping back and forth between segments.
Is that a privilege thing?
Well, I mean, let's just rewind the tape and listen to what you just said. So,
some Jelly Belly sparkling water. I just spilled some Jelly Belly sparkling
watermelon. Yeah, you can spill that expensive flavored sparkling water on your lap and not even bat an eyelash about it.
It's so good.
They're not even sponsoring us, so it's going to take a couple of minutes now.
Well, we covered LaCroix last week, and they
Did
didn't
we?
pay us. Well, we
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about
Talkie, there you go.
flavored,
Talkie
we
flavored
dreamed
LaCroix.
up Talkies flavored LaCroix. So now I got
we have these discussions in the
balance it
hopes that we will have sponsors and we can be corporate shills. So
that's the goal.
yeah.
That's the goal. All right, let's see. What's the next one here?
Oh dear goodness. All right.
Yeah.
Oh geez. Yeah. It's amazing how that falls on me on something like this. Okay. This is an interesting meme. It says, valid reasons for wearing diapers. Number 1, you regress to infancy and need extra protection. Okay. They aid in setting your regression.
Oh, wow.
You feel small and cute. Medical benefits. What are they?
I think that's IBD.
Oh, yeah, okay. Irritable bowel syndrome, or medical benefits, IBD, or IBS, etc. Okay. And the last reason, because you want to.
Do you ever just like see something and it just makes your heart fall into your stomach?
Well, yeah, no, I see a lot of those things that because it's a reminder that, hey, these people exist still in society.
You know, there's a lot of talk of being on the right side of history.
Oh, we've been beyond that for quite some time, my friend.
I want to be on the side of history that is opposite of this. Whatever this crap is.
Are we talking in puns now?
Opposite side of history from that. Because what the hell? What the actual hell?
You regress to infancy.
Yeah, so that's like if you're mentally ill and you like part of your condition is like you regress mentally to an infant stage.
I just love how, like, it seems like somebody took a meme that had maybe some legitimate reasons as far as, like, you're elderly and you're incontinent. You are mentally ill and you cannot control yourself that way.
There's literally one...
Or there's medical benefits or something. And somebody just came in with a enter and with the enter key and just said, "Oh, and you feel small and cute." And the guy's announcing it says, "Or you feel small and cute, and because you want to, and because you want." Wait, who the hell is this guy? Like, it just feels like some guy is just, I don't know. He's like, "May I cut in with my reasons so that I can feel normal?" Let me just take off this coat made of skin.
Oh, yeah.
So I can address the crowd. This is weird. This is so
weird. So they're like, okay, if you have like, they almost like make it sound like, okay, if you like have a mental condition where you regress to infancy and need protection.
Right.
Like I can almost be like,
like this would almost be a list from a healthcare provider.
Right.
Just like, don't feel bad for wearing a diaper
But then the next one gets me because it's like
they aid in setting.
So if you, that's where like I want to regress to infancy,
right?
And therefore I'm going to wear it.
Yeah, that one raises the eyebrow.
That
one's like, that's when the crowd looks at each other like, is that okay?
Right.
All right, let's just keep going.
You feel small and cute.
And then that's when the train just jumps the tracks, headed for the ravine.
Spoiler. You aren't small and cute.
No, in fact, based on horrifying photos on the internet, my guess is you are the opposite of small and cute.
Yes.
My guess is, who knows, you might be a land behemoth. And really just are not easy on the eyes. And this is so And
then they throw in like one valid reason.
No, but we're going back. We're going to justify it. We're going to justify it some more. Think of the medical benefits.
And then finally, because you want to. And you did this wrong. Okay.
Then,
what you're supposed to do
went
is
in the wrong order.
List a bunch of valid reasons, actually valid reasons. And then then you sneak one in.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Maybe one. Yeah, you choose
stupid.
one. You choose one stupid one.
So that it goes unnoticed. But instead what you did...
This order almost seems like an angry admission. Like the guy gets to the end of the 4 thing and people are just looking like super bewildered and puzzled. He's like, because I want to, okay? Because I want to put that number 5 on the list.
Yeah.
This is my life, people.
It's like someone's walking around in a diaper. And they've been
Look,
caught.
I'll show you. I have one on right now.
Yeah. And
whoa.
You're like, well, dude, why are you wearing a diaper? And he's like, let me tell you, because I have a mental condition where I regress to infancy and I just need this as protection. But also, I put them on so that I'll regress.
Right.
But also, I feel small and cute. But also, I want to.
In fact, erase all those prior ones. Let's just...
We need to bring back shame. There's
no
a
such
lot of
thing of it
talk-
now.
No, there's a
There's
lot
no-
of talk of like,
It's
hey,
so
don't
hard.
kink shame. Hey, don't,
Yeah.
body shame. And I'm just like, hey, don't shame. We need to bring back shaming.
Don't shame the act of
Yeah.
shaming.
Don't
That's
you dare
probably
shame me
for the
for
best.
shaming you for being a freaking moron. That's why I want to be on the opposite side of
Yep,
history from
right?
whatever that is.
My
Because that
gosh.
is. Oof. All right.
Oof.
So this next one, your wife actually found. I saw she posted this one.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I had forgotten she had posted this.
And it's relevant to to both our topic this episode. What's
Right.
problematic, free speech,
Mm-hmm.
and just current events with Elon Musk.
Jeez,
Everybody's
no
probably aware
kidding.
at this point. Elon Musk is in a battle to take over Twitter, and
Mm-hmm.
that evil billionaire wants to give people uncensored free speech, let people have opinions that aren't pre-approved by the demagogues.
Not in this institution, Elon.
Yeah. And it is mind-blowing how many people
Right?
are anti-free speech.
Yeah.
It is absolutely mind-blowing. And I love everyone's take. The thing with being against free speech is you have the arrogance to assume, oh, yes, I believe in free speech as long as it's only the opinions I like.
Right.
As if when you give power to people to decide what should or should not be included in the free speech bucket, you have the arrogance to assume, well, they would never object to my opinions.
Never. No, that's allowed.
Which
That's
tells you one of two things. One, you're either, if you actually believe that, one, you're either stupid because you think, oh, they would never attack, it would never get to the point where they have any problems with your opinions.
Right.
Like, it's only for the people with really bad opinions that are actually bad, and not you, because all your opinions are actually good. So you're either stupid for being that clueless, or you're so stupid that you are incapable of having an opinion that does not perfectly line up with the pre-approved, your pre-approved Twitter masters or legacy media, and you're stupid for that reason. Either way, you're stupid.
You're just stupid.
And I'm sorry if that opinion offends you, but hey, that's free speech. That's actual free speech.
There
is
you
when
go.
someone says something that offends you.
That you might disagree with.
Yeah, there's no point in calling anything free speech ever if it's never offensive. So here's someone on Twitter saying, referring to Elon, he's not going to encourage free speech. He's just going to allow people to say whatever they want, which is not at all the same thing.
Huh.
Did I mention you're stupid? I'm not sure that point came across, but you're stupid.
Probably didn't realize there was like a delete
Yeah.
post button available, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe he didn't think on it again. Maybe he just posted just this, this brain impulse and is like, ha ha!
For people freaking out about misinformation, you're really good at spreading it. You're really good at saying things that are objectively not true. He's not going to encourage free speech. He's going to allow people to say whatever they want, which is not at all the same thing. Speaking of wanting to be on the right side of history,
Oh, man.
again, I want to be on whatever side of history that is not.
Yep.
Because
You could just be the right side crossing guard.
Yeah.
You can just say, "Oh, no, you're all over on
Yeah.
this. Stay on that side, man.
Yeah.
You and the diaper guy and everybody else. Like, it's just
you guys just find your own side of history. I'll just be over here because I know whatever side you're on is not the right side.
Right. It's not
It
the
might be
side I
the
wanna
newer
be on.
side.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that gets me is people always assume, well, the right side of history is whichever side is like more progressive and like and
Right.
and new.
Oh, yeah.
and
That's the
changing
that's the
the way
definition
things
of it.
were. That's the right side of history. And again, talk about your freaking arrogance, because you are assuming that whatever, like us cutting edge progressives at this point in time, we are the right side of history.
Yep.
And no other place in time has ever been as correct. No other culture
Nope.
has ever been as correct as this one.
We are so swiftly moving to perfection.
As if you are like, as if any other culture in any other time
Yeah.
would not compare themselves to us and be like, oh wow, like let's go back to the egg hunting pagan Vikings.
Yeah.
They'd compare themselves to our culture and they'd be like, that is not the right side of history. Those guys are freaking pansies.
They are handing out currency for free.
Right. You go to any other point in time, any other culture throughout history,
Yeah.
they'll take a look at us and they'll be like, nah, you guys didn't figure it out either. You're just in the future. So there's some arrogance to just assuming that we're better than all the cultures that ever happened before. So
Brilliantly put.
that's my rant.
It was a good rant. That was all that needed to be said.
All right. Oh, let's move along.
Ugh, that's problematic.
All right, we're finally here. We're going to find out what is problematic about free speech once and for all. We got to do this. And I just realized that I don't have it up yet. So
Okay.
That's what.
No.
No.
No. We've had too many Risen references and
Okay,
everything.
all right,
It's
I
just
won't.
not.
I know,
No.
it's an easy.
No.
Okay, all right.
Low hanging fruit. That's what she said.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right. I can start with one if you want. What is?
Yeah. So what is problematic about free speech? Let's find out.
Okay. John says the word free is in there. Unless referring to socialism, anything free is evil and must be regulated by the government. Imagine being free to say whatever you want. If people could do that, we'd have original thoughts and free thinking.
Can't have
Can't
that.
have that.
Can't have that.
That's a good,
Well
that's a
said,
good point, John.
Grace says it's gotten expensive. I don't think it is really free anymore, which is actually
That's pretty deep,
pretty
actually.
deep. That's
That's
pretty
pretty.
profound.
There's a lot of truth to that. Yep, Jonathan kind of seconds that, saying I can't afford it anymore.
Yep.
There's
John chimes in again. Inflation, man.
no longer free. Lots of themes that this is the free speech is not free anymore.
Yeah.
Esther says you might make a trans joke.
Yes.
So that's right off the bat. That just that cancels
Can't make a joke about
cancels
a
free
dude
speech.
being a dude, someone with a penis actually being a man. Can't have that. That'll
Can't.
literally get you kicked off Twitter. That's what
Yep.
happened to my buddies at the Babylon Bee.
Yeah. They still off at this
Yeah,
point.
they're still off.
Oh
Twitter.
my gosh.
And it's
Wow.
crazy because it's not just like they were banned from Twitter. Twitter's policy is literally you have to delete that tweet yourself. They're not going to do it for you. They're not going to just.
You have to be the one
You have to actually
go and click delete
bend
on
the
that
knee
oh my
and
God.
delete your tweet.
That and sacrifice a calf.
Yeah,
But other
And
than that, it's
it was because they made Rachel Levine, who is a dude,
right.
has a penis.
Right.
They're the Babylon Bee Man of the Year.
Oh my goodness.
And Twitter banned them. They cannot access their account until
Oh
they can't post anything
Wow.
or access their inbox until they delete that tweet.
Wow.
And Babylon Bee, of course, is like, no,
Nope, it's not happening.
the dude's a dude.
Yeah.
So
You
can.
You guys delete it
Yeah.
if you're so concerned.
That's misinformation to call yourself a woman
Yep.
if you have a penis. It
There
just
you
is.
go.
Sorry.
Well, good on Babylon Bee for taking a stand.
Yeah.
I shared Esther's.
Oh, yeah. Robert says white people use it. That's a good point.
Ooh,
What's
boy,
more-
do they ever.
Free speech is just another form of colonization.
Yep. Chris shares, it kills democracies. That's why Elon wants to buy Twitter so he can bring apartheid to America.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Jeremy says people just give it away even if you don't want any. It's like having that annoying item you give away at holidays coming back to you again and again. Yes.
I've had that happen before. See, Daniel says, free speech means someone might say something I don't like. There we go.
That.
So the only appropriate response is to beat them bloody with sticks and stones until they know how much their words hurt my feelings.
That is fair.
Okay.
I think that's appropriate.
So like a literal approach of
Yeah.
beating them with, no, that's, yeah. Shoot.
Well, that is an actual, that is the kind of violent rhetoric that gets passed around, is that
Yeah.
words are and can just inherently be violent. if you
Words
don't
are a
agree with them.
weapon, Cowan.
Yeah. And that therefore justifies actual violence against anyone who says things that
Yeah.
hurts your feelings.
No, if you want to complain about violent rhetoric,
Yeah.
then you can actually riot and like use violence against people you disagree with.
Exactly.
So, okay, I see how it works. That's
There
cool.
you go. Words are violence. Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us once again for this edition of Stunning and Brave. It has been an absolute pleasure. We love you all deeply and passionately. And
The Passion, is that what you're making a reference to? Really? There wasn't enough Easter-related
that's not what I
stuff
was
to...
gonna. Now you just made it weird. Thank you. Thank you for that.
No problem.
All right. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
If you're not telling everyone about this show, you're probably a potophobe and a Nazi. Don't be a potophobe. Tell your friends and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you subscribe.